Alright guys, welcome to our first iOS Cup of May. My name is Peter Counterfeit Hunnell, here to bring you some delightful iOS teams. Let's take a look at who we've got for you, who will perform on stage for your amusement. Our number one seed will be Zona's, an international squad who do have a bye through to the first round. Looking to compete against them are the Pretty Boys and Demal Zako from Japan. Resident Evil will go up against Zin? Dramas also get a bye through to the quarterfinals. The Wild Cards and the Satanic Temple, gosh, will be competing to fight against them in the quarters. Our first match on the stream, Energy versus the Unknowns, coming up next. And they are fighting for a chance to go up against Gen A, who are sitting pretty in the quarterfinals. And I know I've got a fair few Spanish-speaking fans coming to the stream, so I'll have to learn some more phrases, but como están? Or bienvenido. Welcome back. Alright, we are going to waste no time whatsoever getting stuck in for our first iOS Cup of May. Energy over on the red team, the Unknowns over on the blue. Let's get proper stuck in. Let's go. Hero Gaming Summon, lovely to see you again. Alberto Hernandez, I hope my Spanish was up to scratch. La Padita Comenta. Right now. That doesn't really make sense, but hey, who am I to argue with me? Let's get ourselves some sound up in this business. And devolve our music. Joanne, could you give me, over on Mob Crush, could you give me your dog tag and your platform? Star Sun, we can see about getting you guys a free-for-all non-ranked today if we find ourselves in a position where we don't have a tournament game to show. I'll do my best for you, Star Sun. Good to see Soldier Girl in the chats. She is running things behind the scenes, making sure that the tournament goes ahead. And that we all have smiles and pleasant dreams. However, our good friends over at Energy, coming in as number 7 seed this time round, have little to smile about. As a Japanese team, the Unknowns, coming in as our second to last seed, our number 10 seed in this tournament, does put them in a position where they could actually be a pretty good team, just a new team. Certainly so far, Rai, for the Unknown side, has been doing some pretty gnarly stuff and is leading the pack so far, with Energy only managing to secure a single kill for themselves. They may have a tough time. So, as much as we've been following the progress of Energy, a relatively new team in the Modern Combat 5 esports scene, one of the non-obvious things about going up the seeding and not having to play against the very best teams is that sometimes you'll be placed against teams that are technically the worst teams, but in this case, as for the Unknowns, they are merely unseeded. So an unseeded team could be a very new team, or it could be a bunch of very experienced players who just haven't played together on this team before. This seems to be the case here, as Rusei and Rai, and I think Arubaru. Yes, some very familiar faces, including Helios as well. Even with only a 4-person roster, the Unknowns, perhaps less unknown than the name might suggest, but they are certainly giving Energy a run for their money. I will need to learn some new phrases, but I have got a few ready for just the right occasions. The Unknowns over on the blue, dominating so far, have actually got back their 5th member, Zen, joining us a little late in proceedings. So far, the Unknowns, pretty incredible performance. This is definitely a well, as much as they are a new team with old members that we've seen around the blocks more than a few times. Performing like a very high seed, definitely will be looking to see if the Unknowns are going to be one of the teams that can make it all the way through the tournament. Joanne, thank you for your details. No, well. I'll pass your details across to Ridu. To look into. So, Joanne, don't worry about it. I will do my best to make sure that your missing credit arenas do get credited to your account. Chava Ruka, you think we need a Latin commentator as well? I think you're right. Honestly, I think the broadcast would be vastly improved by a Spanish-speaking commentator. Who could I be thinking of? I don't know. Alright, well, it's looking like a pretty much foregone conclusion as Rai is absolutely thrashing the side of Energy so far. So a little bit of unluck on the side of the Energy team to run into the team that could easily be the team of the tournament in their first round, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sam, I am aware that this is a pretty one-sided game. I will see if there are other games we can jump into, because I think that the Unknowns is going to be, I suspect game 2 might well be much the same as game 1. But for immediate business, let's get our first giveaway of the day underway. Twitch will be the destination. Let's get it all set up and looking groovy. So hashtag RO16 over on the Twitch page will enter you in for your chance at 400 credit arenas. Joanne, well, Energy team were going up against a team of extremely accomplished veterans right there, so I think it's a little unfair to criticize them for their play, considering that this is probably the toughest team they could have gone up against in their first round, which is going to make anybody look bad, honestly. But for now, we'll take ourselves a short break. We'll try and see if we can find another match, just because, as I said, it's I suspect the first match is going to be representative of the second. If not, we'll be back with the second match of Energy versus Unknowns. However it plays out, we'll see you in 7 minutes or less. Shazam! We're back. We've switched around a little bit to hopefully get ourselves a more competitive game number 2. Well, I'm not actually sure if this is going to be the case, because looking a little bit into these teams, I think we've had several accomplished teams rebrand themselves for this particular tournament, and therefore throw the seeding entirely to the wind. So thanks for that, guys. Appreciate ya. So Damar Zako, allegedly from Japan, seems suspiciously like dramas, who are most definitely not from Japan. But hey, that's what you get when people just get to choose what country they're from, and you have to provide no proof whatsoever. Shucks, howdy. Alright. So, Damar Zako have gotten themselves a 1-game advantage already, so we joined the streets with the pretty boys from the USA in dire need of a win. Ninja Brony, if you're having connection issues on Monochrome versus, I'm afraid the best thing to do would be to contact Gameloft support, which is support.gameloft.com, and they should be able to help you out. Taquito, somehow managing to get round and buy enough time to reload. It's going to miss out on that particular exchange. As the Marzero starts to rack up some kills, let's see if we can find our Matsun, the Typhoon. Matsuno or later, all will fall. Matsun, currently the best performer on DMZ, but all the members doing pretty darn well so far, at least. Juan, I switched across to a different game because I did agree that I felt like the energy game was going to be so one-sided that I didn't want to give you guys a non-competitive game if I could avoid it. So we switched across the bracket a little bit. So now we are watching the Pretty Boys versus DMZ. Who are a very poorly disguised dramas team. Unfortunately, because DMZ here are also another big team masquerading as a new team, they've also thrown it off the ceiling, so this is probably going to still be relatively one-sided. But hey guys, I tried. The massacre continues as Matsun building up a ludicrous score. Psych Gaming, how's it going? For all of the Spanish-speaking fans, I'm trying to uncover some good phrases to use when I'm talking to you guys. I've come across Que Buena Onda. Que Buena Onda. Can anybody help clarify for me how that phrase is used? Que Buena Onda. Yes, Ninja Brony, it could be a general server issue. I'm afraid I don't know. The Modern Combat Versus is done by a different sort of, I don't know if it's quite a branch of the same company, but a different Gameloft, so I presume they're on a different server than Modern Combat 5, at least. I mean, that might be the case, I'm actually not sure, but at least the server seems to be working right for us right now. There we go. 2-0 to DMZ. Alright, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer, I think, to find that elusive competitive game. But of course, we'll be keeping our eyes on Damar Zaro. Or Zako, even. and of course the unknowns. 2 wild cards in this tournament. Twitch giveaway is ongoing. We'll end that probably at the end of the next series, so get your entries in while you can. But for now, volveremos enseguida. We'll be right back. sorry to tease you guys with the possibility of a custom game, but literally the moment that I attempt to bring you said delights, we have ourselves our next tournament game between Dramas and the Satanic Temple. So confusingly, Damarzako also seemed to have some Dramas members in there, so I don't know what that's about. But we'll be heading to the rooftops for our next encounter. Maybe Dramas had too many players and not enough temples. Either way around it, let's get into the pre-game lobby. Whew. Thank you, Juan. And bienvenido a todos. Welcome back, everyone, to our little tournament. So, Dramas did get a bye through to the quarterfinals, but now they must face off against the Satanic Temple, who beat out the wild cards in their first round of competition. Satanic Temple coming in as our number 6 seed. Some experience hereabouts, I suspect. Joanne, I don't partake of either, honestly. I guess I would say I most recently ate at McDonald's, but that was not something I would frequently do. So there you go. How about you, Joanne? What's your restaurant of choice? Let's see. So Satanic Temple. Okay, yes, they've played in a lot of cups recently. They've tended to lose out relatively early on. In fact, I'm not sure. Yes. Oh, okay. This is the first time in recent memory Satanic Temple have made it past the first round. So, our expectations are probably going to be with the Dramas squad to do well. But we'll see. Maybe we can be surprised. Maybe Dramas will be overcome with the old Satanic Panic. We shall see how it falls out, how this story develops, how this battlefield was won and lost and won again. Well, Joanne, I'll leave you with that for a second. So we'll go to a little micro break while we wait for the last players to get in place, and as soon as they are, we'll come back again with more smiles and pleasant dreams. Welcome back, gentle souls, one and all. History and the world turn here. Dramas attempt to overturn the Satanic Temple in our first quarter-final match of the day. Certainly Dramas, as our number 3 seed from Mexico, come in as our number 1 favorito in this particular matchup. But Satanic Temple have a chance to surprise. They've already started off this tournament well, and this is the first match for Drama, so perhaps some ring rust. Of course, Drama was able to put a lie to that very notion immediately, getting themselves a whole heck of a lot of kills in a very short amount of time. Gary, he's our man. If he can't do it, someone else will just have to. But right now is maintaining a clean sheet with a nice couple of kills for the Drama's team, who started off pretty brutally and are supporting each other, as we can see there. The old triangle formation. Juan. If Steve Jobs could hear you now, he would be moderately upset, I suspect. Incidentally, Juan, if you want more people to talk to, then you would find on Mob Crush. Usually the best thing is to head to YouTube or Facebook where there's some more people to talk to. The giveaway is on Twitch at the moment. We will be drawing that giveaway when this particular match is concluded. Currently, Dramas seem to be eviscerating the competition in the form of the Satanic Temple. But hey, you never know how it might play out long term. But I think we've got a fairly reasonable idea. Yes, Joanna, yes, the problem with that, with wishing death upon someone who's already dead is it feels a little relevant. Gary, as well as being the #1 rival, is also putting out a pretty fantastic performance. Along with Any, 7 kills but 0 deaths is honestly pretty freaking impressive, especially on rooftops. You can be attacked from a whole bunch of different angles. The Dramas team doing very well to support one another. Oh yeah, Dwan, I can read your comments on Mob Crush. I'm just saying, if you want to talk to some people apart from me, then YouTube or Facebook is probably the way to go. Right, although there are currently people on Twitch because there's a Twitch giveaway in progress, so I leave the matter in your hands, Joanne. As Drama's gonna give these hands to Satanic Temple to perhaps deliver them a delicious, I don't know, a delicious potluck lunch. So far, Drama's just absolutely annihilating. The Drama's team, known by a few different names over their time. Joanne. Yes, silly Billy, you don't have to be alone. Not anymore. I'll send you the link to Joanne. I'll send you the link to the stream on YouTube, just so that you can come and join in there if you want to, or you can head to Facebook, facebook.com/modern-combat. Lots of folks there as well. Jevin Gaming, Mr. Valiant. Not only are there no rooftop fans, there are anti-rooftop fans. I think it's neat just because it's so different than any of the other maps, and I think that's probably a good thing. I'm not sure what Javin doesn't like about it specifically, but I think it's good that it exists, even if it is rather hard to read map-wise, but I'm not really sure how you would. Alright, that's first point to Drama's. Satanic Temple will need to step up in game number 2 if they want to stand a chance of maintaining their place in this tournament. Drum? Honestly, it's a good question, but I think it's because it doesn't really cost us anything to stream to Mob Crush as well, and occasionally fine folk like yourself might drop by, so hey, why not? Alright guys, we'll be heading to break. When we come back, when we return, Dramas will go into the heart of the Satanic Temple once again. Can the Satanic Temple surprise us with perhaps a delicious potluck lunch, or will Dramas show off why they are our number 3 seed all over again. Twitch giveaway will be over when this match is over, and the next stage will be when we return in 7 minutes or less. visit each other once again, gentle viewers, for the return of dramas. Now, bringing their brand of ultra-violence to the construction site. Joanne, you're not a fan of my choice of mobile phone? Well, I didn't put very much thought into it, so I don't feel overly attached to it. I just got one which I heard had a long battery life, which is kind of the case. It's been alright. Nothing to write home about. Che doing some very nice grenade work there, really slotting those grenades through the hole. Now going to follow up on the weakened opponent. Dazed, reeling, the enemy fall victim to his shitty bits. Though I say this, and the Satanic Temple actually doing pretty well for themselves in the early going. Can they keep it up, though? That's the question. Let's see, who is the person? It's UC007. They have a 001 and a 007 who's stepping up in this game. Dramas have caught up, but the Satanic Temple doing pretty well for themselves. Especially considering how harshly Dramas dominated the previous game. Be calm, be quick, be dead. So the winner of the Dramas vs Satanic Temple series will go on to face off against the winner of the Unknowns vs Generation A, currently in the other quarterfinal just below them. So we know that Unknowns certainly are a favourite considering their roster, which is pretty ludicrous, honestly. So to look forward to a little bit later on. Hopefully we'll be able to get that match for you guys. The way it's looking though, Dramas have managed to turn a relatively strong start for the Satanic Temple into a rout and are nearly doubling up on the Satanic Temple's score. If Dramas win out here one more time, then the Twitch giveaway will be over and Dramas will advance to the semis. Joanne, this match is fire. I do agree with you. It has been burning all hot for the Satanic Temple. Usually, of course, fans of the old barbecue, but not when it is applied to them, I suspect. .007, who started out things so strongly, now going to be another victim of the Drama's freight train that is currently driving through their hopes and dreams. We're just past the halfway mark and Dramas with total and utter control. Yes, Joanne, I think this is pretty much a lock for Dramas. There we go. They have secured their semi-final spot and we need to secure ourselves a Twitch giveaway winner. Who's it gonna be? Let's find out now. Our Twitch. Giveaway winner will be Sam OP96. Sam OP96. If you are still around on Twitch, then please do post your dog tag and your platform into the chat, and we'll be moving on to our second giveaway of the day, which will of course be on Facebook. So we'll head ourselves to a small break. When we come back, we shall find ourselves some more Mortal Kombat 5 to watch, Hope you come back and join me, and we'll be back soon. Excuse me. While we wait for our next tournament encounter, we've had a request before for a free-for-all for the community to play, and I am nothing if not a benevolent streameroo. If you would like to come and play, please do use the passkey ESL123 or follow your instincts and the global chat to find purchase in this free-for-all. Will you come join John Smith? Or Admane Ahimdouche? Bonjour. Je m'appelle Peter. Et tu? Je suis désolé. Bienvenido? I'm getting confused between languages now. Hopefully there are a few of you guys out there in iOS land who'd like to come and show off your skills on stream. Joanne, why iOS every time? Yeah, I think it's because iOS came first. So it kind of ended up with more tournaments than everyone else, but when the iOS and Android server merge goes through, then it will be iOS and Android every time. So I guess that's kind of better? I'm just going to quickly remake the game just in case people can't see it, because sometimes that's what's caused people not to join, because I would have expected somebody to have joined at this point. Unless it's just the canals that everybody hates. Which is entirely possible, certainly not a super popular map. I think perhaps in a bit of a need of a rework. Ooh la la, les Français. Let's look for fun French phrases. Admittedly, there's probably quite a lot more Spanish-speaking fans than French-speaking fans. At least I've seen. À la vache, which means "oh my cow." Apparently is roughly equivalent to saying OMG, but in French. À la vache. À la vache. We're starting to get some of you delightful vashes in here. Joanne, you think Apple pay to you? Oh boy, well they certainly ain't paying to me. But if you know any Apple money going around, Joanne, I'm more than happy to take it off their hands. Wavy 10k, the original giveaway winner on Twitch was intended to be SamOP96. It looks like they have been AFK for quite some time. So with that, we will do a new Twitch giveaway winner. Gosh, this music is very dramatic. I don't remember this being part of it before. Alright, so our new Twitch giveaway winner will be Sharif Matola. Sharif Matola, if you could post your dog tag and platform Aringo into the chat, then we shall heap praise and also credits upon you. Well, 400 credits, and it'll take a couple of weeks to arrive, so potato, potato. It's a little late here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Why am I doing this? Because I'm silly. So, you two can come and join in if you please. ESL123 will get you access to the game just like RB Polo, or you can find the invite probably still there in the global chat somewhere. You might just scroll back a bit. RB Polo sporting the fashionable emerald forest green camo on their tier 7 assault weapon, which the name escapes me at the moment. Yes, Joanne, there will be a giveaway in Mob Crush, but not until after the Facebook giveaway is done, so you can come and join in on both, but it's up to you. So we'll see if we can find ourselves a Twitch winner and also a Facebook winner. Mr. Valiant, it's 4 o'clock in the morning at your place. Oh boy. Where are you based, Mr. Valiant? So someone that's ahead of me. So somewhere in Europe, I guess? Maybe Russia? I'm not sure if it's that far. How much of a time difference there is between here and Russia? Honey Dabas. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can find ourselves a top banana. It's going to be Diari. For somewhat understandable reasons. Diari, one of our pros. Showing off their skill. Did you know that ESL is the same Essel in German language, which means a donkey? I did not know that, Joanne. Thank you for that tidbit of information. I don't think I would have ever found that out otherwise. Well, there you go. Did you know, Joanne, that a vache is a cow in French? Ah, la vache means oh my god, but in French. But not literally, it means oh my cow. John Smith, lovely to see you. I'm probably horribly mangling the pronunciation here, but apparently, if you're French and you wish to faint, you say tombe dans les pommes. Tombe dans les pommes. Fall in apples. It's very specific, but I imagine it's a phrase that presumably originates from a time in French history when piles of apples were more common. Joanne, you are French. Oh, maybe you can help me out with some of these French phrases I'm attempting to do. Mr. Valiant, in the same time zone as Dubai, you're in Mauritius. Hey, nice. I know Mauritius. I think I might have been there at some point, but a long time ago, when I was young and the world had yet to be formed. Yes, I hear good things about Mauritius. Well, thank you for joining us all the way from Mauritius. In England, it is all dark and stuff. I imagine it might well be the same way you are. Crookie, trying to get some damage through, but I think so far one barcode is going to be the one dominating proceedings. 1413, a good illustration of how your deaths may not super matter when it comes to free-for-all. It's just about the kills. John Smith, where's Haxel? Kind of feel I'm crying. Me too, buddy. Me too. If Haxel could be with me on these streams, I would be much the same as you, but crying with joy. Hopefully we'll be back in the circulation for tomorrow, so we can bring back the dream team. That is myself and Haxaru. We'll see. We'll see. I hope so. Because it feels like ages since I've cast with him, and it's a lot of fun. Yes, Mr. Valiant, you have to let me know when the sun rises in Mauritius. Because that's always fun. It's such a strange idea that we could all be watching from different parts of the world where the sun is doing different things. It's actually a fairly even free-for-all with, yes, we've got the three people, MIT, Barcode and Diari up at the top, kind of dominating with similar scores. It's usually just one person who runs ahead, but hey. Some of you guys looking to try and show off on stream a little bit. And it's working. It's working, let me tell ya. Il y a quelque chose qui cloche. Faire une feuille de Canada. Which means it is very cold. If you have some attempt at how to pronunciate? Yeah, that's how you say it. Pronounce. John Smith, what do I think about yesterday's live stream about the update? I think it's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited with what they've managed to do with their map design for Fun Zone. I really hope it will turn into a team deathmatch map because it looks fantastic and it's got a kind of new theme, which I think I'm very much in favour of new content from Modern Combat 5 to keep things fresh. So yeah, that's what I think about that. Alright guys, we will be headed to a short break, but when we return, and you return with me, we shall have more Modern Combat 5, so much that you will say, gosh, ich suche ihn. Wait, I'm gonna check what that means before I say it. I've learnt the hard way. Aha, it means I am looking for a girl.
Ich suche ein Mädchen.
Ich suche ein Mädchen. Gosh. Juan, trying to get me to say silly things? I've never said anything silly in my life. Alright guys, we will volvemos enseguida. We'll be right back. Guys, we are back once again with our first semi-final of the day. And because we've made it all the way to the semi-finals, we will have a Facebook winner, and that will be Jamie Vetter. Jamie Vetter, you can post your dog tag and your platform. We're going to get stuck in for our first round between Damar and Zixin. Vantage. We shall see. Advantage or this? Joanne, I am not a student that I was once in my youth. Again, when the world was young. Good to see you guys over on the YouTube page. Are all making friends with each other and stuff like that. Ooh. Some pretty nice play from the Zixin side there. From, I want to say, let's see, Iraq? Yemen. Zixin from Yemen. I don't think I've seen a team from Yemen specifically before. Pretty cool. The Yemenis team, if that's what you call a team from Yemen, which sort of sounds remotely sensible. Stephen Skibby, can I speak any Danish? I don't know, I can't, but I do cast with one of my most frequent casting companions is Danish, so I should probably try and learn some Danish from him. Blue Gamer, what is it that people are talking about that is so cool? I'm intrigued. Blue Gamer, do you have some drawings on your YouTube channel or something? Intriguing. Alright. So, bandaged up. Pooh is going to be our score leader for the time being. John Smith, Danish. Well, Danish is also a type of pastry. I'm not sure if it's actually from Denmark or if it's just a name. Pooh does find a high ground advantage in Damar or DMZ. Seem to be a DMZ sister team perhaps. Doing pretty well so far. Zixin have shown some pretty impressive plays of their own though. So a 5-kill advantage for Damar is anything but a surefire win for them. Brett Brennan, I'm really not sure what you guys are talking about on YouTube. If if you're not talking about drawings that Blue Gamer have made, then I've obviously completely misunderstood what you guys are talking about. Ah, Blue Gamer is a YouTuber. That's pretty neat. I always enjoy seeing more YouTubers come by these streams. Waiting to see if... Oh, there we go. Jamie Vetter, thank you for your response. Your details have been recorded in our grand old book. So, congratulations, Jamie, on being our Facebook winner. Sharif Matola, thank you for your details over on the Twitch page as well. We'll be moving on to Mob Crush for our next encounter, but Damar have pretty much dominated this first semi-final game. Zixin, despite some very strong individual series of plays, find themselves in a very much dire situation. One more kill's gonna do it. There we go. The Mards will win out that game. El equipo rojo ganó. The red team wins. Of course, this is only game number 1 between these two. Some running sound effects in the background. But we will be back with more Mortal Kombat 5 coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Souls from across the globe, we return. Zixin against Zako or DMZ. There may be a clue lurking in plain sight there. I can see for you fine folks discussing things in the YouTube chat, but do bear in mind that the Mob Crush giveaway is in progress and will run until the beginning of our grand finals, whereupon we shall switch across to the YouTubes to close out our stream for tonight. Zixin started out pretty well last time round before Zako just absolutely took over everything. So far though, Zixin actually looking pretty reasonable. Though, if the last game is any measure to go against, it's far from a sure thing that will remain in place. We shall see. Zixin still in the lead for the moment, at least. Hope begins to dawn for the team from Yemen, that's right. Yemen, the team whose flag I don't think I've ever seen before. Zakari Thomas, your favourite recon weapon right now is the boss because it's the highest tier recon weapon you have. I think the boss still sees use, even if it's not necessarily the highest prestige weapon. Zixin, stepping up when it counts, will keep their lead and even extend it further. Scramble seems to be a lot kinder to them, at least up until this juncture. Zako, with members of DMZ as part of the lineup, are inherently an extremely dangerous opponent. But perhaps we might see it push through to a game number 3. Brett, Brennan, you want me to add you on Discord? Oh boy, that seems like a lot of work. Just send me a message. That'd be pretty easier. Zixin making good use of these restricted sight lines. Let's jump across with Farah. 8 and 5 so far with a pretty impressive performance. So far, seems to be pretty sticking. Not just a flash in the pan for Zixin, the Yemenis team, with some fire in their bellies. Nightmare cut down as the Zako seem to have recovered themselves in this second semi-final match, managing to bring themselves back to almost parity with 3 minutes left to play. Masoon, the Typhoon, up on high, the vantage point looking out across the vast expanses of Scramble. So far though, not with the strongest of performances. Let's see if we can find out. Aha! It will be Poon themselves. 15 and 12, both the source of the salvation of Zako and also their biggest liability. 12 deaths is a lot, but as long as you're positive, then it's alright. We'll allow that score to be padded out just a little bit more with a bit of pre-fire as well. Does get clocked though. Gonna run in, try and get the reset. I think almost managed it there. Taken down at the last possible moment. Damar behind by 6. 2 minutes left to play. Zixin might be able to get all the way up to 50 before Damar can close that gap. Jakari, Bramson or Firecracker? I think the Firecracker certainly, when it was legal in ESL, was pretty ubiquitous. So it's hard to argue that the Firecracker is less good. All that I can say is in ESL terms, it is less legal as well. So you don't get to see it because it's being a prestige weapon. Damar very close to catching up and potentially even overtaking Zixin. If Damar win out here, they will be taking that first place in our grand finals. Zixin only need a few more kills though, and thanks to Slender. Slender? Yeah. That objective seems within reach though. MIT taking Slender out of the equation could spell disaster for Zinzin. Matsun. Oh my gosh. NASA gets a couple more kills through. Now Zixin only need to find a single kill and they will force us through to game 3, and Nightmare does it. Zixin steal away the point at the last possible moment, and that means we will be seeing a third game between these two gladiators. Which honestly, it's pretty cool. Alright guys, we'll be popping ourselves to a little break, but Zinzin will return for one last crack at making it to the grand finals. We'll see you guys in a few minutes once the players have got themselves all kinds of ready. So, volvemos enseguida. We'll be right back. Let me tell you a story. Zinzin and Mayazako rush on the scramble. One will stand and make their way to the finals. The other suffers ignominious defeat. Which will it be? Let us know in the chat. Dramas versus unknowns going on the other side of the bracket at the moment. So we do not know what our finals will look like. Zako, certainly in the first game of this series, looked very dominant, but Zinzin? Yeah, Zinzin, I guess. Able to bring things back and managed to hold on to a lead that Damar threatened over and over again, but somehow just snuck through that game 2, that vital game 2 win. Makoto will be the last one standing against the multiple members of the DMZ sister team Zako. Does spot out one of their quarry, but taken to the ground by the Masoon. Masuno or later, all must fall. So 1 point to Zako. Can they seize another? It looks like we had some connection issues for the Zinzin team. And oh boy, only down to a single member. Not ideal. I don't believe those guys will be able to join back in on this particular round. And oh, hello. I don't know if that's gonna be considered to be a forfeit towards Zako. I'll have to check with Soldier Girl. That was unusual. Okay, well that's I don't think that's ever happened before. So, I believe that Zako are going to win as a result of that, but I'm not 1000% certain, so I'll leave it in the capable hands of the ever wonderful Soldier Girl to figure out using a big old brain. For now, we'll pop ourselves to a small break, and when we come back, I suppose we might well have a finalist, and if we have two, we will end the Mob Crush giveaway and move on to YouTube next. But for now, volveremos enseguida. We'll be right back. Alright guys, so sorry about any confusion that may have arisen from that last lobby. It looks like initially we were perhaps going to have a remake of that last game, but it seems to be not the case. So in that case, we will have a final shortly between, let's see, Damar, Zako, and whoever wins out between Dramas and the Unknowns, who I believe are still playing. But let's get a Mob Crush winner done away. So our Mob Crush winner is okay, Maxwell Ray. Maxwell Ray, if you are still around on Mob Crush, if you could enter in your dog tag and your platform. While we wait for that grand finals to get all kinds of set up, why don't we have ourselves a grand old time? Let's see. A free-for-all on overtime. So, same kind of deal as always, ESL123, the pass key that will give you exclusive access to the game. I say exclusive of course, but there is another way, a secret way, an incredibly public way. That is to look through the global chat and find the invite from there. If our finals does get started a little earlier than anticipated, we'll jump straight into that. But for now, we'll see if we can show off you guys on stream once again. And just to reiterate, for our Mob Cross viewers, Maxwell Ray, our Mob Crush winner. Give you about 5 minutes or so to respond, or till I guess to the end of the game. And we'll go from there if you have not made yourself known at that juncture. Hopefully, there we go. I was worried for a second that no one was going to play, but fortunately, a few brave souls have shown their worth already by leaping headfirst into the pond of Overtime's free-for-all. Where are you, counterfeit? You sound weird. Interesting. Let me just check something. Alright, if we can get ourselves perhaps 4 or 5, we can get started. I don't want to leave things too long because I suspect the files are just about to begin. I've just got a message. And yes, they are. So, alright, we'll get started with the guys that we've got here. You can come and join in ESL123 whenever you like. We won't show this free-for-all on stream because we're moving on to our grand finals themselves. But you can join in at any point up until the end. So, Damar, the DMZ sister team, will be going up against the Unknowns, who we saw right back at the beginning of the stream. Should be fun stuff, but for now we'll have to bid you fine folks adieu as we head towards our own and final destination. What a strange advert. Anyway, we'll be right back. We've got that grand finals to get underway. Double Japanese squads, at least on paper, going head to head in best of 5 action. We'll be right back. Gentle friends, one and all, our grand finals are upon us, and with those grand finals, our final giveaway as well. YouTube as well will be our final destination as always. We will do a redraw on the Mob Crush giveaway winners, as it appears like they have all but disappeared from our lives. The Unknowns taking on Damar Zako, the DMZ sister team. Mohammed Mutula? Mutula? Muti? Oh boy, I'm not even getting close. Mohammed, no, you're not too late. I'll give to the end of this game for the Mob Crush giveaway. You can put it in your hashtag, whatever you like really, hashtag finals, hashtag semi, over on Mob Crush, and then we'll redraw at the end of this game. YouTube giveaway is currently ongoing, hashtag finals into the YouTube chat. Multiple entries will disqualify you, do bear that in mind. Right, so let's get down to business. Must be a museum in town? What is this? Alright, so the Unknowns, known for their brutalization of energy in our first round today. A all-star lineup of absolutely not unknowns. Doing a number on Damar Zako so far. Get some delicious water. Good to see you guys are making friends in the chat. It warms my heart. It does. It warms my heart. Arubaru, I think having the best individual score, not necessarily the most kills, but keeping those deaths down on the low. Lack in hand, morph, ready to deliver vengeance all over the museum. Yes, Mohammed, I suspect the Mob Crush giveaway is probably going to be between you and a gruff lunatic. We'll see how that works out. Simon Kesey, have you been around this whole time and I just haven't noticed? Were you in the smile of every child? That seems unlikely. Simon Kesey? If you were not here before, or even if you were, may I extend you a formal welcome to the stream, even if you've been here the whole time and I just didn't notice. Because I'm just a bad parent. Right, up on high, we'll claim another scalp for the unknowns. Unknowns coming into this one as our number 10 seed. So one of the lowest seeds in the tournament because of being new. I think perhaps looking to try and well, it's only 2:24 in the morning. How ludicrous. Oh boy, Rai and Zen finding a points pinata. Usually my role in these things, and taking advantage of it, clobbering. Simon Kesey drinks some delicious wine. John Smith, can I be your parent? I think I've already got too many illegitimate internet children. John Smith, you'll have to make a compelling case for the idea that you can displace one of my many internet offspring who already haunts my every waking moment. Hero Gaming MC5 with a chorus of woofs. Unknowns are melting Demer. Mr. Valiant, you have a way with words. And you are more than a little bit correct, as the unknowns look to try and put this first finals game to bed very quickly. Racing up towards that 50 kill mark. Ruse managed to take another kill courtesy of the pistol. The unknowns as a team very closely cohering, be able to back each other up. So you see here, Rai able to provide some back support for the unknown teams, who of course are having very little trouble in carrying any of their members. Alright, that's game one to the unknowns, and that was pretty brutal. We'll of course take ourselves a small break and be back with our next game soon, but let me just get our details of our YouTube bits and pieces up on the screen before I bid you a very temporary adieu. Adieu, my friends, adieu. Alright. So, if you haven't caught them already, YouTube giveaway in progress will be over when this finals itself is over. So, keep those entries coming in. Unless, of course, you've entered in already, in which case, don't do it, because you'll just end up getting disqualified by Nightspot, the most heinously cruel master of giveaways around. For now, we will volvemos enseguida, be right back, and we'll see you guys in just a little while. Welcome back now, y'all. Game 2 of our grand finals begins. The players take their places upon the stage. Glad you guys in YouTube are getting along fine with each other. Always warms my heart to see all your folks making friends with each other. Mr. Valiant, do tend to see a lot of the same people coming back to the stream again and again, and they're a good bunch, so hopefully you will make some Modern Combat 5 friendos. Exciting stuff. Look at that ad. That ad is amazing. Rockstar Gaming, yes. Sneaky ad sneaking onto stream. So, based on our game 1, the Unknowns stand as a pretty dominant force for Damar Zako to deal with. The DMZ sister team didn't look like they stood much chance in game number 1, but Vantage, an entirely different beast. We'll see, maybe fortunes can be changed, worlds upturned and flung into the abyss. Damar Zako don't want to be looking down the barrels of a 2-0 in this best of 5. To win here is, as always, a great way of just resetting everything. But Unknowns, obviously, with very high motivation levels to try and keep that momentum, keep Damar Zako on the back foot and reeling. But, I don't know, so we haven't seen the breakout as of yet. The Japanese players from Damar Zako. I say, at least I thought Damar Zako was a DMZ team, but there don't seem to be any more. Can't see any, apart from I guess MIT, who I'm not 100% certain is a DMZ player. John Smith, you'd like me to say Shazam! I hope you're happy, John Smith. Now I've debased myself to say a word. Well, to be fair, who doesn't want to be cool like Billy Batson? Who is... I don't remember now if he's called... I think just Shazam now. Which I always thought was a bit weird. But hey, when it comes to made up stuff, then I guess it doesn't always have to make that much sense. The Unknowns, after a pretty even start for Damar Zako, looking like they're a little bit more comfortable. Zazroom! Mr. Valiant, do you think both teams are playing it smart? I would agree with you. Damar Zako are doing a pretty good job of staying competitive. Jakari Thomas, the hero that says Shazam would be the hero formerly known as Captain Marvel, I believe. Billy Batson, a school child. Didn't really read very many of them, or any of them. Says Shazam, which is the name of an old wizard, and turns it into Captain Marvel. Bear in mind, this is a DC hero, which is possibly why they changed off the Captain Marvel name, because it's a little bit similar to another competing comics company, and I imagine that might have some factor in the fact that I believe he's now just called Shazam rather than anything else. There you go. Getting educated about superheroes. Of course, if we were to be unfair to the Unknowns, then we would cast them in this particular play as the villains of the piece, mainly because they're doing so freaking well. And who doesn't love an underdog story? Damar Zako, honestly, not looking like they stand too much of a chance right now. But hey, stranger things have happened on the battlefield. ¿Qué son estas paditas? Este es el último juego. This is the last game? Final game? Well, I mean, yeah, that's not really something that Google Translate can do a very good job of. But the unknowns are certainly dominating Vantage so far. Damarzako haven't really had a chance to find their feet in the finals. They've picked up a couple of kills, but with the sheer amount of volume of kills coming from Rye, it's going to be a pretty foregone conclusion, to use a redundant term. Alright, so for the unknowns, only 1 point separates them from becoming our champions. For now though, we'll be right back. Grand finals will continue after the break. Gentle friends, one and all, we now turn ourselves to the rooftops. Look down upon creation. Thank you, Mr. Valiant, for providing clarification on the YouTube giveaway. That the winner of that same giveaway will be announced once the finals have concluded, and those finals are still very much in progress. The unknowns, strangers to these lands, will be one step away from becoming champions. We've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes, DJ Leo, if you want to know. Damar have a chance to turn this series on its head, but it's going to be tough. The rooftops working pretty well with teams who can find innovative ways to approach the various conundrums on display. Enrique, is John trying to print video? What? Print video? What does this mean? It's all so confusing. Some kind of dinosaur. Unknowns with a pretty reasonable lead for themselves in the early going. The Marzako, so far not quite in the place they'd like to be for comeback city residents. Poon, on the lower floor, does get tagged but just survives. Mr. Valiant, you don't want the stream to end, you hope Damar wins. Well, ain't you a sweetheart? I'm glad that you are enjoying your time here, Mr. Valiant. I hope that you will come and join us tomorrow for our second dose of iOS action. Hopefully we'll have Hacksaw back here tomorrow if he is available, so you'll get to hear the sound of two different people waffling over the game, which I can assure you is quite the experience. Enrique, turn on video on the printer. I'm so confused. What are you guys talking about? Nothing makes sense to me anymore. DJ Leo, you may not have heard me say before, but the stream is currently around 2 hours 45 to 50. So I imagine if things continue to go the way they're going, we'll end at about 3 hours or so, which is a pretty good amount. We're coming up on 3 o'clock in the morning here. Since I started at 12, then that all fits together like a puzzle waiting to be completed. Well, guys, when you talk this much, you do need to make sure that you have some delicious water to hand. Otherwise, you might run dry at a most inappropriate moment. The Marzako are actually catching up, which is an impressive thing in of itself, with the weight of 2 games losses already bearing down on them. 3 minutes left to play. 3 kills separate the two teams. Make that 4, courtesy of a grenade from Zen, but then immediately punished. Helios trying to sneak around the side and see if he can find some of these points generators the Marzako have been deploying to get back into the game. Ruber with the quick shots down. So the Marzako keep on keeping on. Let's see if we can follow along with some of these fine players who have somehow brought Damar back into realistic contention. Of course, the moment I even contemplate the notion, the unknowns pick up a bunch of kills for themselves. DJ Lay, you watched and fell asleep? Well, I'm glad that my voice is relaxing enough to fall asleep to. That's honestly kind of funny. Alright, we're coming up to what could easily be the end of our finals today. The unknowns ahead nearly by 10 with just under 2 minutes to play. Oof. In that last exchange. Yes, DJ Leo, the blue team are pretty pro. They're basically made up of, I can't remember all of everybody's teams offhand, but these are extremely well known Modern Combat 5 esports players. So as much as the team is called the Unknowns, it's effectively a super team. I'm not sure if they are component parts of one team or multiples, but I think it is multiple different teams with the best players forming a super team to ruffle stomp the competition. Right, one of those top scorers, the Unknowns. Very close, only 1 kill away from claiming our championship today. And there you go. They've taken it for themselves. The Unknowns, the super team that no one saw coming, now are eventual victors. With that, we need to also find our winners over on the YouTube page, or winner. So, when I call your name, you will have 2 minutes to respond for the first person, then 1 minute for everyone after. First up will be Niloy Rana. Niloy Rana on the YouTube page. You have 2 minutes to respond with your dog tag and your platform. Otherwise, we will redraw, and each person following will have 1 minute to respond. Enrique the Player, what's a reference to The Increíbles? I haven't seen that film in a long time. If it was, I'd love to know what it was, because it definitely wasn't intentional, but I'm interested to know what it was anyway. Just out of curiosity's sake, you could say. I don't know if I've seen Niloy Rana. Yes, Mr. Valiant, the Unknowns were extremely good. Honestly, they were kind of terrifying. I think they were made up of multiple other teams, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm not going to go into too much detail at this point, unless we see them return again down the line, which is a possibility. Alright, Niloy Rana, you have 20 seconds left. DJ Leo, you played in the ESL once and lost it because the other team was too pro. Yes, the competition is fierce in the ESL. Alright, it looks like Niloy is no longer here. So with that in mind, we will find ourselves another potential candidate. Roko's Gameplays Gaming. You look like someone who might have gotten a picture done by our good friend Blue Beetle. Alright, Rokos, if you are still around, you will be the recipient of some creditorinos. There you go, John Smith. Threw that one in just for you. I do realise that we also need to sort out a Mob Crush winner, so is okay, so a Mob Crush winner will be Gruff Lunatic. Gruff Lunatic, if you are still around, please post your dog tag and your platform. Hey, Roko. Okay, so yes, forget your details, then that's all groovy. We're getting done just before 3 o'clock in the morning here, which is pretty good for these kind of taunts. You'd usually expect it to take a bit longer, so I'm good with that. Alright, Rokos, thank you for that. Alright, so we'll give a couple of minutes for Gruff Lunatic to come back and claim the prize over on Mob Crush. If not, then it will go to Mohammed Mutula, who I hope I'm not... Oh, there we go, Gruff Lunatic. Alright, so Mohammed, better luck next time. But for now, that has been our stream. We will be back in just 13 hours time with our next iOS Red Cup, so I hope that you guys will come back and join us for that. For now, my name has been Peter Canapet Harnell. Running things behind the scenes has been Soldier Girl, working hard to make sure that everything happens and we have a tournament. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and we'll hopefully see you all again tomorrow.